Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Now the biggest noise around at the moment is all about Yannick Carrasco. It is still the hottest rumour in town. He played yesterday, came onto the pitch in the second half as a substitute in the game where Belgium beat Scotland 3-0 in the Euro qualifiers. And wow, Belgium, their team is amazing. The fact that they got someone like Carrasco on the bench, you know, their team's just ridiculous, the amount of good players they've got in it. But Carrasco came off of the bench, played a little role in that game. But all the talk today is still about Yannick Carrasco joining Arsenal. And it's been talked up in all the publications today, all media publications. The talk is that his club over there in China, Dalian Yifang, want £25 million for him now. They've sort of said that to Arsenal, give us £25 million and you can have him. The rumours is that Yannick Carrasco has already agreed that he would like to join Arsenal, has been in talks with them. It's all been agreed between the two clubs. It's just now sorting out the fee. There are apparently a couple of other clubs interested in him. Inter and AC Milan are both said to be interested in him, and Bayern Munich apparently see Yannick Carrasco as a plan B if they're not able to get Leroy Sané in from Manchester City. So, you know, Arsenal will have to hurry up and make a move on this one if they are going to make a move on it. But it does seem like, you know, this is a definite rumour. Whether Arsenal will be able to get it over the line, that is to be seen. As I said, for 25 million, that seems to be the asking fee. I'm not sure what the wages would be for Carrasco because he's on huge wages in China. Obviously, we'll have to take some sort of a pay cut to return back to Europe, but he wants to come back. He's openly said that, you know, I want to come back to Europe. My family's not settled in China. And would represent a really good signing for Arsenal. You know, a front three of Yannick Carrasco, Lacazette, Aubameyang. That's a very good front three that will send a lot of fear into a lot of teams around the Premier League. So let's see how this one develops out. Yannick Carrasco would be a good signing. Would you like to see Yannick Carrasco coming in at Arsenal? I'd really like to find out. We're going to do a poll on it today. Would Yannick Carrasco be a brilliant signing for Arsenal? Yes or no? Let me know in the poll today. But the rumours are still hotting up on this guy joining Arsenal. There's a lot of rumours around today as well about Lorenzo Pellegrini. Now, Pellegrini is only 22 years of age. Again, a very talented player. Plays in the midfield. Seen as a sort of a replacement by Arsenal, apparently, for Aaron Ramsey. And remember, they're looking for that Aaron Ramsey replacement now that Ramsey's gone to Juventus. And Lorenzo Pellegrini, a player that Arsenal have been interested in before. They were looking at him in January. They were looking at him last summer. Looks like they're interested in him again. He's apparently got a buyout clause in his contract of 35 million euros. One of the attractive things is that it can be paid in installments as well. Roma, who he plays for, would like to hold on to Lorenzo Pellegrini. They like him. They would like to keep Lorenzo Pellegrini, but the teams are hovering. Arsenal are interested. Spurs very interested. Of course, I said it yesterday, they look like they're going to be losing Christian Eriksen this summer. They look at Lorenzo Pellegrini as a replacement for him. And Inter and AC Milan, who seem to be interested just like Arsenal in all of these sort of midfielders are interested as well. It's funny because a lot of the rumours you're seeing, it's those three teams that seem to be interested in these same sort of players. Spurs, Arsenal, Inter Milan, AC Milan, because they've all sort of, the money they're looking to spend is in a similar bracket. But Lorenzo Pellegrini, really interested in Arsenal today. This rumour came out of the blue. Lucas Torreira, we only signed last summer, of course, had a good season. Some bits of the season where he sort of dipped a bit, but on the whole, you've got to say for his first season in the Premier League, which is always hard to adjust to, Lucas Torreira did really, really well. Of course, we bought him from Sampdoria. AC Milan over there in Serie A, where obviously they rate him very highly. They would have seen him playing week in, week out for Sampdoria. Are interested in bringing him to AC Milan. to reunite with his former manager, Marco Giampaolo, who has now taken over as the new manager of AC Milan from Gattuso, and he wants to bring Torreira in. Now, I think it's highly, highly unlikely that Arsenal would sell Torreira. They got him on a long-term contract. They only just signed him last year. Unless they got a ridiculous offer, and it would have to be ridiculous, I think. I don't think there's any way they're going to sell Lucas Torreira as well. Torreira has been a bit of a crowd favourite since he's come in at Arsenal as well. And I think unless they were getting huge fee and then bought in an adequate replacement for him, I think the board would realise that this would be a very unpopular to sell Torreira. And AC Milan are not going to pay a ridiculous amount of money. As I said, they're sort of at the same sort of table as us when it comes to buying players. They're not going to go with no mad 60, 70 million. So I think it's highly unlikely, but the rumour has been going around, I think started over there in Italy and still flying around here today about Torreira being linked with a move to AC Milan. I wouldn't too worry about it if I was you. I really see that as unlikely. Although, who knows, in football, you never know sometimes. Some madness can carry on. This next rumour here, Gabriel Martinelli. Now, Martinelli, I spoke about when we first started doing the Transfer Daily this season. Brazilian wonder kid he's described as. Who ain't? They're always described as a Brazilian wonder kid, but he is described as a Brazilian wonder kid. Plays for a team called Ituano FC. Said to have been been recommended to Arsenal by Edu, the former Arsenal player who's going to be, the rumours are, is going to be joining Arsenal as their sporting director. And the 17-year-old really got Arsenal fans excited yesterday because he followed Arsenal on Instagram. And a lot of people always see that as an indicator that, hey, he's coming, he's followed Arsenal on Instagram. Not sometimes then mentioning that he may have followed like a host of other clubs. But he followed Arsenal on Instagram. Arsenal are very interested in him. It's a good fee. It would only cost about £6.5 million. They'd be able to bring him in pretty easily because his dad is of Italian descent, so he wouldn't need work permits, which is sometimes a sticking point with some of these players. And they'd be able to bring him in. Whether he'd be a player that would come in and like be a first teamer or would be with the first team squad, we'd have to wait and see on that. But Gabriel Martinelli exciting a lot of fans out there today, the Brazilian, and followed Arsenal on Instagram, and Arsenal seem to be interested in him. And what about Alexis Claude Maurice? Now, the 21-year-old from Lorient has been linked very heavily with Arsenal throughout the transfer window so far, and continues to be so today. And a lot of media outlets today still mention that Arsenal hold an interest in him, and he's a player that they may look to sign. Jeremy Ali-Aladir, who used to play for Arsenal, of course, was talking him up yesterday and saying that, listen, Claude Maurice, a very exciting player. For the amount of money he would cost for Ali-Aladir, he's saying it's a no-brainer. Arsenal should go out and get him. He scored 14 goals last season for Lorient. Of course, Lorient, the same team where we got Matteo Guendouzi, and what a player he's proved to be. What a bargain that's proved to be as well. We also got Laurent Koscielny from there as well, remember, when nobody knew who he was as well. So, who knows? We're going to have to wait and see how this one goes. If we get Carrasco, would we then get a Maurice, or were you looking to get both? Because remember, as well as needing a winger, we also need to replace Danny Welbeck. There's Ramsey you need to replace in. There's defenders. Arsenal need quite a lot this summer. So it is going to be an interesting transfer window for Arsenal. And like you guys out there, I just want us to get going and sign some players. But let's see what happens. Let me get into a couple of your comments today. Keep those comments coming in, by the way. Really love to hear them, especially when you start cutting me off. I saw all your comments yesterday about me saying Kearney instead of Tierney. I didn't even realise I said that. You know what? Sometimes you do in a show, you don't realise. It is Tierney. I'm sorry. I know you're all getting at me for my pronunciation, right? It happens sometimes to the best of them. But you're right. It is Tierney of Celtic. And I'll tell you what, that'd be a good signing if Arsenal could bring in Tierney. Anyway, let's get into some of your comments. Yannick Das says, Perisic would be a bad purchase. He's 30 and past his prime. If he turns out bad, we would have to let him go for a free. And I think he's spot on there. It was sort of surprising that we were looking at Perisic in January. At the time, listen, we needed a winger. He's a world-class player, and I think he would have been perfect. But you do have to look at his age. You do have to look at the fact that he costs a lot of money. Yes, he could come in and he could fix that problem straight away because he's a quality player. But if you can get a Carrasco and he's a lot younger and would be cheaper as well, for me that makes more sense. 538 says, I don't understand why we don't try to promote the youth more. We've got some quality players like Reece Nelson and Smith Rowe, which we should integrate into the first team. There's also Eddie Nketiah as well. He's been doing bits, man. You look at it, some of his performances for the under-20s. He's just been scoring goals for fun. Hasn't really had a chance at Arsenal. A couple of little cameos. Maybe next season is the time for some of these guys to step up. Reece Nelson, as he's saying there, maybe he could solve that wing problem. I definitely like Smith Rowe. It was a shame that he got that injury when he went out on loan at RB Leipzig last season, because I do think this kid's the real deal. And I do think he's the sort of player that could come in that midfield and score a lot of goals for Arsenal. And I really hope Arsenal keep him next season and bring him into the first team. Jan Burge says, if Xhaka leave, we have to replace him with a similar player. I'm okay with him staying. He was the only one who played good in the final and always does important work in the midfield. If he can avoid his stupid mistakes, he'll be a good player. He's right in a way. It's the mistakes with Xhaka sometimes. The two things with me and Xhaka. All right, so these are the things I like about him. These are the things that I don't like about him. What I like about him, very good pass of the ball. Very strong in that midfield where sometimes we do lack a bit of aggression. He's got it. He's not going to be... Granit Xhaka doesn't get bullied in games, and that's I like that about him. Granit Xhaka shows a bit of leadership qualities. He was saying that he would like to be an Arsenal captain. He is a solid player. But the two things I don't like about him is sometimes he's too slow. He gets a bit of space in front of him. He never drives into it. Never sort of attempts to take players on. Right? It's not really in his game, I suppose. And then the sloppy mistakes sometimes. Just really sloppy sometimes for a player of his qualities. If he could cut that out of his game, he would be a good player. But who knows? Whether I think we will keep him. I don't think we will be selling Granit Xhaka this summer. But it's mixed on him. And Vincent Oki is on the other side of the fence to that last guy that I just said. And he says, Xhaka, go now, please. We don't need you. So he's not that enthusiastic on Granit Xhaka. Listen, thanks for watching the show today. Keep subscribing to AFTV. We're closing in on that 1 mil. I'm really, really grateful for that. So keep subscribing here to AFC, AFTV, AFC. We love AFC. Keep subscribing to AFTV. Check out all of our content. We've got a great video that I did yesterday with Troops, where we were talking about the transfers on the Bias Premier League show transfer special. Oh gosh, I was trying to get him to understand how transfers work. It's just not just that you just clear out every player that you want. But make sure you check it out. It's really funny. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow.